it's going to be incredibly important that we avoid a catastrophic, unnecessary Republican shutdown of government. There is a clear path to avoiding a shutdown. It involves, of course, bipartisanship here in the House as well as in the Senate. Democrats coming together with Republicans to pass a continuing resolution at the fiscal year 2023 levels to make sure there are no right-wing, partisan, ideological riders that have no place in an appropriations bill, let alone a continuing resolution to avoid a shutdown, and to meet the needs of the American people, both in terms of those Americans across the country in places like Hawaii or Florida, California, Vermont, or in other states that have been hit hard by extreme weather events and need relief, as well as to meet the needs of the American people in terms of our national security by continuing to stand behind Ukraine. That's the path forward. And the interesting thing is that House Democrats are aligned with Senate Democrats, and we're both aligned with Senate Republicans, and all of us, with the exception of the extreme MAGA Republicans, are aligned with President Joe Biden and the administration in terms of keeping the government open so we can meet the needs of the American people. But we need the extreme MAGA Republicans to get their act together in the civil war that's happening on the Republican side of the aisle, that's paralyzing Congress. Get your act together so we can handle the business of the American people and solve problems on their behalf. House Republicans continue to be in the midst of a civil war. It's a civil war that is hurting the ability of the Congress to do the business of the American people and to solve problems on behalf of everyday Americans. And what's happening is that House Republicans continue to be held captive by the most extreme elements of their conference, and it's hurting the American people. And this is a serious matter. We are less than 8 days away from the government shutting down. Why are we in this position? It's because Republicans have chosen to walk away from a bipartisan agreement that they themselves negotiated. And more than 300 members of the United States House of Representatives supported, with a strong bipartisan majority in the Senate signed into law by President Biden. Why are the American people facing down another manufactured GOP crisis? They need to end their civil war because it's hurting the American people. I'm not saying they all have to like each other, but we should be able to figure out a way to get the business of the American people done. A reckless Republican shutdown will hurt seniors, it'll hurt children, it'll hurt families, it'll hurt veterans, it'll hurt public education, it'll hurt public safety, it'll hurt military readiness, it will hurt morale of the federal government employees who are essential in helping to keep America moving forward in the right direction. Why are we even in this situation? It's because the extreme MAGA Republicans are determined to jam their radical right-wing ideology down the throats of the American people. We've seen this done before. The Republicans shut down the government partially twice in the 1990s. Why? Because they wanted to end Medicaid as we know it. Bill Clinton and Democrats to the rescue to stop that from happening. Same group of people, different version in 2013, shut the government down for 14 days. Why? Again, jam their extreme right-wing ideology down the throats of the American people. In that instance, they wanted President Obama to repeal his signature legislative accomplishment, the Affordable Care Act, and throw 20 million people or so off the rolls and deprive them of health care, like we were going to agree to that ransom note. Once again, Democrats to the rescue. 2018 into 19, same thing. They shut the government down for 35 days. By the way, when the government shutdown began, Donald Trump was president. Republicans controlled the House and the Senate. In December of 2018, they shut themselves down. That's how much it's in their DNA. That time, what was the extreme ransom note? We want you to waste billions of dollars of taxpayer money to fund Trump's ineffective medieval border wall. Once again, we held firm, refused to pay their ransom note, and we were able to get the government reopened. Why are we going down this road again? We know how it's going to end. We're not paying a ransom note so you can jam your extreme ideology down the throats of the American people and hurt everyday Americans. We never have, and we never will.